Okay, there we go. Let's go live on TikTok. Beautiful. Here we go. Unmirror. Can we unmirror on here? Green screen. I don't know about that one, guys. Can we unmirror? Can we unmirror? Oh, there we go. Alright, welcome in everybody. See who decides to pop in today. We're going to be diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. We shall help you out. What's going on, Kingpin? Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Just started the live 10 seconds ago. So we're going to be doing some open Q&A today. You guys can feel free to throw some questions down below. We're going to help you guys out. We shall help you guys out. See who pops in. Who wants to ask the first question? Whatever you're struggling with, trying to advance further in your life, grow spiritually, mentally, philosophically, relationship-wise. What do you guys do for freelancing? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Oh. I normally do outlier tasks, but it limits us. Oh, I don't like hire freelancers at this exact moment, if that's what you're asking. If that's the question that you're asking. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to be diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below, help you guys out. Ascensio, what's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. You guys can feel free to throw any questions down below. Stuff you're struggling with, trying to advance within your life. We'll give you some advice. I've helped over 80 men and women transform their lives in my coaching practice so far, so feel free to throw any questions down below. Nico said life coaching quotations, and you're spending your evening on TikTok live. Absolutely. Yeah, I do this to grow my business. I do it to provide value to people, so 100% I'm on here. Nico, I'm curious what you do for work. What do you do? And everybody who's joining on YouTube, what's going on, guys? I'm live on TikTok as well. We're doing open Q&A today. Self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. You guys can feel free to throw some questions down below. Someone said, chill out. All right, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? All right, Gal, appreciate the follow. Queen, what's going on? Welcome in, everyone. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. We have TikTok on this screen and YouTube on that phone over there. So feel free to throw some questions down below. We're going to help you guys out. We shall help you guys out. What's going on, Young Vision? Welcome in. We try to manage both lives at the same time. Are you sober? Are you talking to me? I absolutely am. My boy Drippy in the quarters. Appreciate you, man. Welcome in, everyone. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. What you're struggling with, what you're trying to advance with, trying to grow spiritually, self-growth, relationships. I'm a musician. I'm requesting you to check me out. We are not reviewing music on today's live. It's self-growth oriented, but thanks for throwing that down below. What's going on, Brittany, on YouTube? What's going on? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. You guys can feel free to throw any questions down below. What you're struggling with, trying to advance with, and grow within your life will help you guys out. You have a problem, you need to talk. For sure, Christopher. What's going on? Throw it down below. What's going on, Stacy? You get no botch? Well, you have to, can you accept my request? Christopher, we're not having people on the panel at this exact moment, so throw your questions down below in the chat. Help me with my procrastination, for sure. All right, well, Malka, what you want to identify is, where does the procrastination come from? Right? What is it that you're procrastinating? Is it schoolwork? Is it work in general? Is it hobbies? Is it a certain conversation with a friend, with a family member? You want to actually dive into what's causing this rather than I'm just procrastinating. Because procrastination occurs on a neurological level because our brain does not see the point in putting an effort towards something because it feels like you get minimal rewards for it. You don't have any dopamine go off or serotonin, so your brain's like, let's not pursue this task. It's a waste of our time. It's not going to we don't want to put the mental faculties towards us to do it. So ask yourself, do you actually care about the thing that you're procrastinating with? Do you actually want to build upon it? Do you even need to do it? These are some fundamental questions to start asking yourself to start to really address this. Appreciate the gift, Mr. Lasarte. Appreciate the follow. Studying for my knowledge in IT. Well, yeah. Is IT something that you're genuinely passionate about? Yeah, I'm not sitting here and saying it's going to be easy, but it might be worth it, right? And that you have to connect to the vision around this. If you're going to study for this and it's going to allow you to have the job of your dreams, the career of your dreams, it'll be exceptionally worth it. And connecting to that on a deeper basis, on a soul-to-soul level, could help you out. Hello again, bro. What's going on, user? How did you spend time with your friends yesterday? We just we hung out, cooked steaks, had a good time. Welcome in everybody on YouTube. We're doing open Q&A today, diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually, so you guys could feel free to just throw any questions down below. We'll help you guys out. TikTok, where you guys are over here. Welcome in, everybody. Aria said how. I have TikTok here and then YouTube Live on my other phone. Yes, you've been working for 10 years. A lot of things are always for studying. I think I need to set up my priorities. Yeah, 100%. Take a journaling session, take a pen and paper. What are the list of things I feel like I need to do or have to do, and what's priority for me? Put that in a list and then dedicate a time commitment to it. I'm going to spend an hour a day doing this, 5 hours a day doing that, 30 minutes a week doing this. Depends on the task. Mr. Lacarte, my YouTube channel is the same as, what's it called? Same as TikTok. Well, TikTok is mighty.brad. YouTube is just mighty space Brad. So mighty Brad on YouTube. What kind of bear is the best? Polar bears are the best. All right, user, appreciate the follow. Good idea. Waiting for my journal from Amazon. Awesome to hear. What do you think about ending a 5-year relationship? Because she thinks that we're very different. Also, by the way, anyone on YouTube that's interested in seeing the TikTok live, you could just search up mighty.brad on TikTok. We go live 7 days a week on there. What do you think about ending a 5-year relationship because she thinks that we're very different? Well, here's the fundamental problem, user. It doesn't take you 5 years to realize you have different values than someone. It doesn't take you 5 years to realize you shouldn't be together. It doesn't take you 5 years to realize you're not compatible. You guys were ignoring reality, and you guys weren't bonding properly or communicating properly. So those are the really deep components you actually want to get clear on that kept you guys stuck in the same place. All right, let's see. But user, feel free to shoot me a DM about this. I'll help you process it. Lon, appreciate the follow. Or Heidi, what's going on? Sasha, appreciate the question. How can we deal with anger issues, especially if you take it from your parents? When you say take it from your parents, are you saying you have anger issues because your parents had anger issues, or your parents have anger issues, or you're angry at your parents? Definitely clarify that for me. But if, let's say, I'm going to answer this in the general sense so far of, you're dealing with anger issues because your parents used to be angry all the time. Well, you have to do a deep acknowledgement that most of anger is a lack of emotional immaturity, and most of anger is a reflection of you not processing your emotions and your sadness. When sadness stays stagnant for a certain period of time, it becomes numbness, and then it becomes anger, and then once that fizzles out, it becomes deep sadness and numbness. So you're still at the point of anger. So address, what am I so angry about? Is life really that bad? You can come up with a bunch of reasons as to why it is, but you'll realize that you woke up this morning and you have a phone to be able to be on this live right now. Like, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. Of course, that doesn't solve all of your problems by any means necessary, but it's something important to dive into as a starting place. But Sasha, if the anger issues have been persisting for a long time, I'd highly recommend you shoot me a follow and a DM, and then ask me some sort of question around it, and I'll interact with it with you, give you a really in-depth answer, personalized advice in the DMs when I know a little bit more about your situation, how you grew up, all that good stuff. I don't care. Appreciate the follow. TikTok, what's going on, man? She says it's because it's our first serious relationship and she wasn't experienced. Yeah, still doesn't take you 5 years to realize. So those are just excuses. Been trading for a year, scalping in and out, but have struggled with cutting losses quickly. Connect to your vulnerabilities. Hey, I struggle to be brave and do things that scare me. I have bad anxiety. I keep avoiding them. Okay. Appreciate you sharing this. All right. Question is, where does the anxiety come from? What are the specific things that you are avoiding? Now, you'll have a deep fear of also connection and flourishing, right? Because you feel like whatever you get whatever you get that's positive isn't gonna last. So you self-sabotage it. You keep yourself stuck in the same position. Give yourself very small tasks to get yourself out of your comfort zone. For example, if you're afraid of going up to women and initiating conversation, for example, don't just say, tomorrow I have to go up to 5 women. Like, hey, let's just go up to a random human being, walk past them, and just say, hey, enjoy the rest of your day, and keep walking. Right? Do the smallest possible task. That's brave. Let's say you can't get out of bed. It takes you an hour to get out of bed. Then tomorrow it takes you only 45 minutes to get out of bed. You may think to yourself, well, you feel shameful, like a 15-minute difference. What does that really matter? Well, you're 15 minutes closer to your goal of getting to 0, right? So create these very small tasks for yourself. You're avoiding the big things. You're trying to transform everything at once. You got to small it down, minimize it. That should help you out. And I don't care. Feel free to shoot me a DM about it. I'll be able to help you out there. Someone on YouTube comments, is it true that you play drums? Yes, it is. And you could go on I just created a new YouTube channel for it. It's Mighty Brad Drums. Also on TikTok, guys, Mighty Brad Drums. New drumming channel I just made. Any advice for when you've accomplished everything and now you're bored? Well, that's a good question, because it means you haven't accomplished everything, Maple. Maybe you've accomplished everything that you thought you needed in life. Maybe you accomplished everything that everyone else told you need to be successful, to be happy, to flourish, to be rich. But it's not everything that's connecting you to your soul. That's why you're bored. Find things you actually care about, you're passionate about, embark on your creative journey. Things of that nature could be a good starting place. And Maple, if you want to shoot me a DM about this, shoot me a follow and a DM about how long this has been going on, what you've achieved so far that you think should have done its job, and then we can kind of dive into it deeper. What do you mean connect to my vulnerabilities? Can you expand upon that? 100%. Connecting to your vulnerabilities, when you're talking about cutting your losses, right? Connecting to your vulnerabilities in the sense of, as a human being, not everything's always going to go your way. You're going to lose sometimes. You're going to fail. You're going to make some mistakes. Being able to process that, let it go, and move forward regardless, right? Don't attach yourself too much to that specific scenario, to that exact problem, because we're vulnerable as human beings. We only know so much. We only have so much information. We only have so much knowledge. We'll make mistakes. So don't cling too much onto that. So that's what I mean by connecting your vulnerabilities a little bit more. Let's see. That's so smart, thanks. Also, I'm a woman, but either way works. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so even as a woman, like going up to men, for example. Yeah, definitely works both ways. What's going on, AJ? Welcome back in. Bradley, I'm thinking about considering the idea of maybe processing the possibility of maybe. Definitely process that, bro. Definitely process that. Definitely process it. Bird's nest? Can I tell you a joke since you're on here helping others? Sure, why not? What about Stranger Things? I never watched Stranger Things. Florencia, what's going on? I don't know, man. I got everything in terms of money, but I'm feeling empty inside. Exactly, CS. You have only money. That's one singular area of the human experience. Of course you're not fulfilled and you feel empty. Because you pursued something that you're told is idle. You pursue something that's idolized, which money is money. That being said, money is exceptionally important and you need it to survive and more to thrive. But it's not exclusively that leaves you in a fulfilling reality. So you have to look at the deeper components of what you're not addressing. TikTok said, how to not think about what people think of you and your mistakes. Well, here's the thing. Most people don't actually care. They're too focused on themselves, the mistakes that they're making, their insecurities, their insufficiencies, where they messed up the other day, how they're feeling on a day-to-day basis. They don't really care about you. If they do judge you, they're going to judge you for about a minute and a half and then forget about you and move on with their day because they're anxious. If they need to judge you and your mistakes and what you've been through, they're secretly judging themselves too. So that's a good place to understand that. I'm 60 and want to start a new career. Cool. What have you been doing for work and what are you trying to shift into? Thanks, Brad. I needed some reassurance. I may be processing something. Sure, for sure, bro. For sure. Appreciate the rose, Valencia. Everyone on YouTube, what's going on? Welcome in. How to get rid of a thought that we wasted 5 years of our lives by breaking up. Okay, user. Yeah, this is very common. Even if it feels like you wasted 5 years, it was your first relationship. So don't beat yourself up for this. You're still learning. It was the beginning part. I'm just highlighting some of the vulnerabilities you guys didn't connect to or pay attention to. Some of the things you didn't address. You didn't waste 5 years because you learned from this experience. Here's the thing. If you wait 2 months to start dating again, then date someone else, and they end up being like exactly like your ex-partner, then you wasted time because you're just repeating the pattern. If you learn the lessons from this experience, learn the signs of when a woman doesn't want to be with you and how to communicate effectively, how to be charismatic, how to truly provide for someone, how to build up more skills in your life, how to be able to read body language, all these different things. You learn how to do that, you embark on the self-growth journey, it's not going to be a waste of time because it propelled you into greatness. Even if you're experiencing the heartbreak, it's very normal to feel very stuck for a while. All right, let's see. That's a good question. Valencia, appreciate the follow. Is there any exercise I should do to help connect to my vulnerabilities? Yes, actually. Ask yourself where you feel like you lack control, where you can't do anything, and then come up with some creative ideas of what you actually can do. And how whatever mistake you think you made that's keeping you in the same place and keeping you down, find a small step forward that's going to allow you to overcome that. That's a first like journaling session type thing you could do, user. Florencia, you worked for the government, now you want to change that, or you want to go into a government job? I can confirm I never judge anyone. I am too much thinking about my own stuff. Exactly, there you go. I worked since 16 years old, finished school, now I'm at uni in 20. I got a car and a house, but I feel like a loser. Yes. Well, like what's that narrative that you're telling you? Who convinced you that you're a loser? Who convinced you that you're not good enough? Right? These are questions to ask yourself. Reflect upon that. And feel free to shoot me a DM about this. I'd love to give you personalized advice there. Don't know what to get into. Yeah, Florencia, if you want to shoot me a DM about this, I don't know if I might have asked you before. I don't know if you already did. Would love to get really clear on what your skills are and how you can kind of move into something else. I'm Tim. Hope I'm definitely not pronouncing your name correctly, but appreciate the follow. Yeah, it's already been more than a year, but still feels empty and broken. Feels like it won't end. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember one relationship where I was basically a year and still feeling like really stuck. User, if you want to shoot me a DM about this, I'd love to give you really personalized advice. And actually, I'll shoot you over. I don't know if you were on the live yesterday. I'll shoot you over some lecture material from the group coaching that I do around heartbreak that I think could help you process this. Mercedes, what's going on? Cancel me, said, what do you do? I run my self-development coaching practice, so I've helped over 80 men and women transform their lives when it comes to self-growth, advancing their relationships, growing spiritually, building confidence, facing insecurities, all that good stuff. All right, someone on YouTube said, have you tried meditation? If yes, can you share your experience? Yeah, so I have tried meditation. I haven't meditated a lot recently. More of like my meditation is just getting into the flow state by playing the drums or in a session with a client. We're coming up with the creative ideas. But I will definitely say a lot of the meditations I've done of like thinking about my thoughts when they come in as a cloud, just kind of letting them float by and being present in my body, taking some deep breaths. I've done some deep visualization, different energy, right? Kind of like taking the energy from here and bringing it up, kind of feeling that flow throughout my body, cultivating that. So meditation has been a very positive experience for the times that I have done it. Carrie said, any advice on overcoming burnout? I feel so stuck. Yeah, Carrie, where do you feel burnt out? Maybe you're not getting it. Maybe there's basic things at play here where you're not getting enough sleep. You're not giving yourself enough time to rest and process. It could also be that you're not connected to your work. So yeah, Carrie, you want to shoot me a DM about this, I'd love to give you some in-depth advice on this. And also, Carrie, just throw in the comments down below now. Why do you feel burnt out? What is it the reasons that you may not have the complete answer, but starting place, where do you feel like it's stemming from? Like thoughts coming and going like a train, and you're just watching them, exactly, but in the form of like clouds. What is the root behind thinking I'm a loser? Is it related to age? It could be, but usually not exclusively. If it's related to age, it's your expectations around it. If I'm this age, I should be further along. If I'm this age, I should be making this amount of money. If I'm this age, I should be ahead of these people. And then I see other people ahead of me. Here's the thing, there's always going to be somebody ahead of you. There's always going to be someone making more money. There's always going to be someone who's doing better. There's always going to be someone with more skills, more knowledge, better business, better career, better girlfriend, whatever the case is. But you have to acknowledge where you are and what you did to get there, what position you put yourself in to keep yourself stuck, and what you can do now to get yourself out of it, because you're not stuck forever. Florencia said, Will DM? Sounds good. Looking forward to connecting. Where are you from? Looks dark outside. I'm on the East Coast in the U.S., so yeah, it's dark outside now. I just see that everyone has somebody to talk to, and a girlfriend or a friend. I got none. Well, here's the question. Why don't you have any friends? Why don't you have a girlfriend? Do you approach any women? Do you have conversations with people, or if you isolate yourself in your house all day and you don't really go out, of course you don't have any friends. Of course you don't have a girlfriend. You're not putting yourself in positions to get that. Doesn't mean you have to stay that way, though. Sandro said, is it free? Is what free? Chev, what's going on? Priya, appreciate the follow. Burnt out professionally, bad experience with the boss, and afraid to go back to work. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Carrie, definitely curious in the DMs about what your boss did, what the situation is, what you do for work, how long you've been doing it, all that good stuff to give you really personalized advice. Let's see. Do you speak Spanish? No, I don't. Became disconnected with what I'm doing. Yeah. Well, what is it that you're doing? I work, university, sleep, then repeat. Exactly. You want to change that cycle. Of course, being in university and working at the same time, you're going to be very busy, but you got to find time for yourself and find time to go out. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. Find some time on the weekends, things of that nature. All right, let's see. Your voice sounds good. Okay, thanks. Welcome in, everybody. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. For those of you on YouTube, we're not playing specific songs. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. How do you balance exhaustion and productivity? Well, they're opposites of each other. If you're exhausted, you can't work productively. You can work, but not necessarily productively, or at the highest capacity possible. So if you're exhausted, give yourself space. You don't need to work 24/7, right? And then you have to identify where can I be more productive? Where do I want to be more productive? And what's the small action step I could take to push myself closer to that? Because if you're trying to do this giant big goal when you're feeling stuck, it's going to be very difficult to do. All right, GM said, how do you deal with a narcissist? You cut them out of your life. Shouldn't have people that are narcissists. Now, that being said, it's a diagnosis, so who you're interacting with probably is not a narcissist. They're just self-centered. But you have to have open conversations with them. If they're behaving in a way that you don't like and is disrespecting you, confront that. Have a conversation. If the behavior doesn't change, you confront it again. If it doesn't change, you guys talk about reassessing your relationship. Maybe it has to end. But sometimes us thinking other people are the narcissists sometimes means that we're self-centered. So it really depends. But GM, if you want to shoot me a follow and a DM about this, I'd love to hear who in your life is acting like this, what they're doing, how you're interpreting it, and I'd love to help you clarify this and figure it out. Leah said, nice, thank you. Yeah, of course. And Leah, if you're trying to address this further, feel free to shoot me a follow and a DM. We'd love to give you more in-depth details about it, give you personalized advice. Casey, hey man, I recently lost my job for a safety complaint. I've struggled for 6 months to even get, I don't know, the rest of your comment didn't go through for some reason, but you lost your job for safety reasons. Struggle for to even get, if you could retype your question, Casey, I don't know why it didn't go through. I'm working towards a big project and I don't really have any free time. Not really having any free time, dude. Free time could be an hour, could be 30 minutes, right? It doesn't have to be a whole 5 hours of free time and enjoying the rest of your, and like I have a whole day off. Find a little bit of time. GM said marriage, 32 years. Very nice. Whoa, okay. Yeah, if that's going on in your marriage of 32 years, I'd highly recommend you shoot me a DM about this because this is going to be deep. Casey said, "Oh, struggled to get an interview. I know something personally is stopping. What would you advise? Your advice be?" You said you know something personally is stopping you. Is that what you're saying? Could you clarify that for me? If that's the case, what is stopping you in that case? Emotionally blank? Yeah, GM. We got to dive into this. Casey, let's see. Why is it dark where are you at? I'm on the East Coast in the U.S. Because I will become a full-on partner at the firm and not only a worker. That's where my time goes. Yo, Cody's comment is crazy. What is that, bro? It's hard setting boundaries. It is hard. It is difficult setting boundaries, but it's absolutely worth it. Let's see. Finally caught a stream. There you go. What's going on? Welcome back in, Migo. Let's see. Brad is the best. Appreciate you, Trouble. Appreciate you very much. Let me guess, you DM and then you have a low ticket sell with an upsell somewhere. I give people free coaching sessions if they're interested in further coaching. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I gain clients from TikTok Live, but there's no obligation there at all. I help plenty of people out in the DMs that never become clients of mine. Which school you have to be the life coach? If you could make that proper English, I'd love to address it with you. Just stop, that's it, just stop if you know that phrase. No, I don't. Yes, I have experience, I communicate well, however, over 2 interviews and over 1,500 applications. Wow. How have you been? I've been doing pretty good, Migo. How to de-influence yourself? Could you add on to that question when you say de-influence yourself? Not sure what influences are pushing you in a certain direction that you want to kind of step away from. Casey said, "Sorry, man, the character length is short. I'll DM if that's okay." Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to shoot me a DM, Casey. All right. Someone on YouTube, Nathan, said, "How about we go old school and say what is on our mind without using big words to describe emotions? Lol," and then curse word, weak people today. Thanks for your opinion, brother. Let's see. Is it crazy to think my ex might come back, but for the wrong reasons? Validation, grass isn't greener. Well, it's not crazy to think that. To accept it is another story. Wanderer, what's going on? Welcome back in. Stop thinking that you need to buy a big house, a Ferrari, and retire your parents. Yeah, I mean, look, if people with ambitions of that, sometimes they're able to do that, and that's beautiful, but not everybody can do that, of course, and that may not be the goal, and that's okay. Find other things that are fulfilling. A big house and nice car isn't worth it if you just share it with yourself and nobody else. Welcome in, everyone. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. You guys can feel free to throw some questions down below, and we'll help you guys out transform your lives. Welcome in, everybody. Who's got the next question? Nathan said, "What is your opinion on what I said besides just reading my question?" My opinion is that you're spending time going on my live insulting me when you don't know me and when I'm transforming people's lives. So I don't take your question as credible. That's my response to your question. Let's see. Bro, can you play? I'm assuming that's a song. Many girls stop dating me because I smoke. What do you think about that, even though I'm a nice guy? Well, yeah, I mean, look, this is a value thing. Smoking can lead to an earlier death, and if somebody's going to choose a long term romantic partner, they want somebody who's going to focus on their health and growing in their life. And sometimes when you smoke, that's the opposite of that. For example, my girlfriend doesn't vape or smoke or anything like that, and I would not like that she did, and it might even be something where I wouldn't allow her to, same as she wouldn't allow me to. There's boundaries and values there. This girl I've been talking to is ghosting me. I don't know if I should just block her and move on. You don't have to block her. Just if she's ghosting you and not talking to you, just stop talking to her. Just leave it as it is. But yeah, definitely move on. I get good at talking to women while at the same time not give off desperate vibes. Well, you only give off desperate vibes when talking to women if you're actually desperate. Like, here's the thing. Change your internal reality, the state of you, the narratives you tell yourself, what you believe you can and can't create in your life. Right? The only reason women think you're desperate is because you are. Right? If you're not desperate and you're confidently expressing yourself, nobody's going to think you're desperate because it's an energy. It's a feeling. Rachel said, I'm a girl, and some girls hate guys that smoke, probably because the need to focus on your health. I don't think your full comment went through, Rachel, but yeah, absolutely, I agree. It's kind of hard to let go. She's everything I want in a woman. Well, everything except she doesn't give you attention and she's ghosting you. So that's not everything you want in a woman. You want a woman to be respectful and for her to communicate with you. So she's not everything you want in a woman. She's only some things, and you can find that and more in another woman that's better for you. Allegra, appreciate the follow. Yeah, she's not interested. Absolutely. If she's not interested, don't chase. Go to somebody else that genuinely appreciates you. But first, you got to appreciate yourself. I didn't know one sentence can open my eyes so much. I'm glad it resonates, man. I'm glad it resonates. I appreciate you asking the questions. Welcome in, everyone. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. We're going to help you guys out. Okay, man. What's going on? I have friends that are close to the opposite gender. As friends only. Nice. What do you guys do together? What do you do when you hang out? Welcome in, everybody on YouTube. We got YouTube on my phone over there and TikTok over here. So, what's going on, everybody? We're doing open Q&A. I sent that DM. Thank you for your time. Yeah, of course, Casey. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Dinner, coffee, walks in parks, runs. Nice. She does show interest when we talk, though. Yeah, but she's ghosting you, so she's not really talking to you, right? She's not really addressing everything. You're great, thank you. Yeah, appreciate you, Rachel. All right, someone on YouTube said, I never insulted you. I was asking you a question, not to you, just in general. Why would you jump to the conclusion I was attacking you? It was a question in general, buddy. No, it wasn't. And it's interesting how you're still on this live. Saying, how about we do this and don't talk like this, that's insulting somebody. So you have to understand the words that you use and how you communicate and what that actually means. So Nathan, you got to do some questioning there. Let's see. Is it bad that I think girls who are sleeping with random dudes at a party are not wife material? No, user, I completely agree with you. If a girl sleeps with guys at parties, she is not wife material, period. Because here's the thing. A woman has to be very careful with who she sleeps with. There's consequences, right? So, if she doesn't acknowledge those consequences, there's no maturity there. There's no maturity. How do we get a better jawline and drink a lot of water? Drinking a lot of water doesn't work. Yeah, Gavin. I run a group coaching program. One of the coaches that I coach with, he's like the founder with me. He does a lot of that looks matching, like refining your jaw and stuff like that. So feel free to shoot me a DM and I can connect you with him. He can just give you some advice on it. Let's see. Here we go. What makes a relationship today different than before? That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, there's a lot more entitlement in dating nowadays. There's a lot of people that have very big egos. I mean, I'm sure that was always the case in certain cases, but a lot of people think they have many options when they really don't. Like, for example, you take, let's say, an attractive woman. She's like a 10 out of 10 looks wise, at least people say she is. Personality wise, she may not be. So she gets a lot of male attention, but her actual options for a long term partner is very, very low, very minimal. Most of the guys that give her attention only want one thing from her. And she's over here thinking like, oh, attention does not equal fulfillment. Attention is very surface level. And women that seek a lot of attention from their people who are not their romantic partner or someone that they're intimately interacting with is somebody who is not, doesn't have a deep relationship with the feminine. She doesn't have a deep relationship with herself or her vulnerabilities. And she'll live on the surface level like a lot of other people do. So a lot of people have surface level relationships. That's why they fail. What's the biggest relationship advice you would have given for a 17-year-old? It's a good acknowledge your own flaws in dating, where you neglect people, where you don't communicate effectively. Acknowledge what you can do better, and also start to develop your values at 17 years old. What do I genuinely want in a relationship? How do I want her to treat me? What type of woman do I want her to be? Things of that nature. Let's see. Hold on, the comments. I slept with hundreds of guys and I have a loving husband. Alright. Yeah, of course, Gavin. Hi from Albania. What's going on? My barber is from there. Oh, I just liked the live by accident. How does religion affect a relationship? That's a good question. Well, your faith and your belief in God, what happens after you die, how you should live your life every day, what you should believe in, is something that's very closely connected to how you guys are going to build together. Because if you have different religious beliefs, you might have different visions of how you're going to live your lives, and that can be incredibly disconnected. So you want to dive into really further exactly of what you guys want to build together and things of that nature. Maybe you're part of the same religion. Maybe one is a part of one wasn't. It doesn't mean that it can't work, but you have to have a very open conversation about it, of course. Men have to be careful too. Men can impregnate infinite women, but women can only be pregnant once a year. Absolutely, everyone has to be careful. Is it bad that I think? Oh wait, we already answered that. Hello. So I've been seeing that amazing girl, and she keeps saying that I'm a red flag for smoking. Well, you're not a red flag for smoking. It could be to her. It is a red flag, right? And that's valid. Everyone's entitled to what they think their partner should and shouldn't do. So don't quit smoking because of her. But if she's going to help you quit smoking, you're going to see as to why you shouldn't smoke. That could be a good benefiting thing. Let's see. Apologize if I hurt your feelings. You're the reason I voted for blank. I apologize. I have to walk on eggshells with people like you. You didn't hurt my feelings. Do I look upset? I'm just answering people's questions, brother. Let's see. I grew up with a mom who wasn't able to love stably, and so now my body thinks instability with love, or instability equals love. Yeah, user. Well, first off, user, I appreciate you sharing that. That's a vulnerable share. Also, for acknowledging and becoming aware of that. Most people would not become aware of that on their own. So that's brilliant. So you're already one step ahead, right? You're already very aware of what the situation is. Here's the question. Here's what you want to establish. How can what would true stability mean for me? True security, true love, true connection. Journal about that, get a little bit closer to it intimately, and then in your dating experiences, start to actually address that. And if you want to shoot me a DM about this and a follow user, I'd love to help you out with it. I know you already follow me. Shoot me a DM about it. Would love to help you out with it further. Halo said, going by my first name. Sounds good. Julian said, proud of you, beautiful eyes. Appreciate you. If you ever want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. All right, I completely disagree with that. Those of you guys that think it's foolish to be in a relationship with a woman that is attractive, you are going to settle in your life, and you're going to be exceptionally miserable and probably get divorced. You need to marry a woman that you find pretty and attractive, because then you're going to meet your needs, your intimate needs, elsewhere. You're going to cheat, things of that nature. So, definitely don't agree with that piece of advice. Also, it can affect your parenting outlooks. Grew up with unstable love for mom. Now my brain thinks instability is love. Yep. What makes a father a father? Well, I mean, biologically, I suppose you could say, but also being able to provide, protect, give advice, guide, lead, show you what masculinity is, how to stand up for yourself and people, how to healthy confrontation, finding your passions, your purpose. That's what a father does. How do I make healthy relationships feel familiar and normal and not boring? I'll DM you. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. Tyler, followed. Appreciate the follow. User said, period. Avery at first if you didn't recognize me. Oh, yeah, what's going on? Sky High, appreciate the follow. Do you believe that all people can redeem themselves for their actions regardless of their past? No. I think there are certain things that are unforgivable. Certain things that you can't come back from. Because any actions regarding their past, I mean, there's some crazy stuff that people do. So no, I don't think everything is... But it depends what you define as redeemable. What's your take on self-help resources / books? I think they're helpful. Some of them kind of talk you in circles. And some of them allow you to conceptualize the depths of your soul. For example, I just started reading Carl Jung, who's a psychologist. He's not alive anymore, but he has a book called The Red Book. It's like a deep exploration of his soul. There's a lot of benefit, a lot of growth I've experienced there. So yeah, there's some self-help books that are super general and just tell you to think positive, and like that's great, but that's kind of disconnected. But there's some self-help stuff that's absolutely exceptional. And my whole coaching practice is focused on self-growth, helping people transform their lives. Parent, promote healthy boundaries, self-respect, and respect and love. There's trust as a father. Yeah, definitely a part of it. Haha, life coach talking about masculinity is already trash credibility. Okay. Jesus Christ loves you. Appreciate it. You can't change, but you can't expect others to forgive and forget. Or you can change, is that what you said? Yeah, you can change. You can't expect others to forgive and forget. Absolutely. And when people forgive you, they shouldn't forget what you did. They need to remember that. So use it as a foundational pillar to interact with this stuff, and moving forward, if it happens again, you can end the relationship or to confront it. But forgiveness can happen. What can life coaches do that I can't get from AI? Serious question, not trying to grief. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Well, Bad Booker, here's the thing about ChatGPT. It's always going to agree with you. ChatGPT doesn't really challenge you. Sometimes it will, but it'll always start off saying like, "Oh, thanks for sharing that. That's such a vulnerable share. Like, I'm sorry you went through that, even if it was something that you did that was completely your fault." So what a coach will do, or not a coach in general, there's some bad coaches out there, but I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to look at the depths of your soul and what you need to interact with. And obviously I'm going to help you do that in a positive way. But ChatGPT is not going to do that for you. But ChatGPT is a wonderful resource of information, 100%. Can't disagree with that. I use it all the time. All right, let's see. Next, Eric, appreciate the follow. Mountain, appreciate the follow. Elizabeth, what's going on? I love when a 30-year-old is trying to teach me about life. Whoa, that's the oldest anyone's ever called me. Wow. I'm actually 12, so get it right. Hey, Nilo, what's going on? How can you deal with the joy? Yo, everyone, I just pinned his comment, the 40 guys that are in here. Nilo Backman, you see the pinned comment. He coaches with me. Go and shoot him a follow. He goes live every day too. Arguably speaking, he's even more intelligent than me. So definitely shoot him a follow. I disagree with Brad on many things, but I will defend him anyways. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Everyone, welcome in. We're diving into self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. Feel free to throw some questions down below. We'll help you guys out. Help you transform your lives. Do you believe that younger generations of boys are growing up not learning to respect women? I've seen this. Yeah, I will definitely say if you get, I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, right? There's the family structure is oftentimes falling apart. Most parents are divorced, and if most parents are divorced, then the mom or the dad is talking crap about the other person when the kid's in a different home. So they have a then unhealthy depiction of masculinity and femininity, and then they don't the man not may like let's say the kid is with the father, and the father's always talking about how the mom screwed them over and she's the problem, she's the reason for the divorce. You might have a negative association of women now, and then you don't want to respect them because they don't deserve respect, right? Whatever you conclusion you come to based on that. So yeah, it could definitely affect that. But it's also that if you get too sucked into the online growth community, I can't say online growth community, it's not really growth. The online YouTube space, for the most part, of like a lot of coaches and men saying like all women are this, all women will cheat, like all stuff like that. That's what gets you to not respect women because that's your view of them. And yeah, if somebody were to cheat on you, they're not worthy of respect. But if you just kind of create that, it won't be helpful. Do you believe? Oh, I just answered that. Okay, man. So I'm being honest. I think Brad has inflexible beliefs that are harmful. Well, I appreciate you openly sharing your perspectives, man. I was mentored by a life coach in my 20s. I'm 41 now and still finding it useful. Well, glad to hear it resonated, Mountain. Not all boys, though. Not everyone, you know. Yeah, of course, user. Of course. It's a good question. Which do you prefer? Grow up with your partner or grow up alone to achieve your goals? Oh, you're saying like grow in your goals and like getting where you want to go? Definitely, I'm doing that with my partner, so that definitely with somebody. But it has to be somebody that you actually connect to, because then they're gonna hold you back. Yes, growing up with fathers who are unhealthy, you learn their habits and beliefs for sure. There's extremes on both ends of the spectrum, absolutely. Do you ever think about that people chase money or their lives, but money is just made up? I think about that all the time. Money is only valuable because we have all consciously in our mind agreed that it's valuable. Why is a green piece of paper or a number on a screen more valuable than this closet door in front of me? Or this sign that says life coach? Or this sign that has a YouTube icon? Why is the green piece of paper and the number on the screen more valuable? Because we think it is. Obviously, the system is set up where it's like the way things conceptually operate and practically in buying things, of course, it matters like that. But yes, we just all agreed upon it, or we didn't really agree or consent to it. It's just what reality is because the people who control you and I decided it to be that way. But yeah, when people only chase money, chasing money is not a bad thing. But if they only chase money, yes, they're usually left pretty unfulfilled. Cap, appreciate the follow. Saren, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. We're diving into self-growth, fantasy, and relationships. What's up? You want to answer some questions?
If some.
Okay. Even if you understand it, there's nothing you can do because you cannot live without it. Yeah, absolutely. Brad, would you like me to leave? No, you could stay here. There's no reason for you to leave. I own a cleaning and construction business trying to grow, but we don't have many employees. Yeah, my girlfriend she's sitting on the floor, so you guys can't see her here. What? Someone said, oh my god, your girlfriend is there. Owning cleaning construction business, trying to grow, but we don't have many employees. Yeah, it could definitely be rough. Definitely curious what type of construction you do in cleaning wise, because actually there's a girl that I work with in my coaching practice. She has a cleaning business, and I'm actually using some methods from my other business, that's my marketing agency, to kind of help her out with some of that technical stuff. But yeah, Mountain Girl, feel free to shoot me a DM about this. I'd love to offer you some insight on it. Let her answer questions. She's chilling for now. She's relaxing. My problem is letting my depression get in the way of my relationship. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that, Joseph. Well, the question is, why are you depressed? Where did it come from? Like I used to be diagnosed with it. I was able to completely overcome it. So, Joseph, if you want to shoot me a DM about this, where the problems come up in your relationship, where it makes you feel isolated and disconnected, low energy, I'd love to help you out through this because I've experienced this before. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, of course. Does your girlfriend know Does your girlfriend think people can be pure friends with the opposite gender?
No.
She said no.
I think it depends on the relationship too.
Yeah.
Like friendly and like acquaintances, but like not best friends.
Yeah, like
Like I have guy people in my life, but I see them rarely. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, man. He's married and was saying that he hangs out with people of the
Married, I
so
feel like that's completely different.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
There's no such thing as a life coach. Laughing emoji.
Damn, then you just don't
I guess I don't
exist.
exist. I guess I'm just AI. I'm a fixation. Do you think depression is a diagnosis or made up in our mind? That's a really good question. This is something I pondered about for a long time. I was diagnosed with depression. I think it's dependent on the. I can't sit here and say the diagnosis doesn't exist because I don't have any medical evidence to back that up. But philosophically, I have definitely pondered about it. I don't know. Maybe it is just made up in our mind and it's just a current state, and then we can shit. Like for me, I was able to completely overcome depression. Some people maybe not, but
Like for some people, it's like the chemical imbalance, like
yeah,
in your brain.
Right.
Like I don't think you can.
So that's like the diagnosis if it's
Yeah.
at that point. But the problem is
There's some people who are just like lazy and sad depression.
Yeah.
But then there's actually some people, you know what I mean? So that's where I feel like
there's also the problem of like overdiagnoses, and there's a lot of the time in therapy, in order to have your insurance cover the following sessions, the doctor or the psychologist or psychiatrist has to actually diagnose you with something, so then the sessions are treating that thing. So sometimes someone comes into a psychiatrist's office and like, I'm feeling this way and this kind of sucks, and like, oh yeah, I think you have depression, take this medication, come see me next week, right? So it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad industry, but I am saying that there's a lot of stuff that comes up. I appreciate you, Brad and girlfriend. Appreciate you. How much to spend the day with you? That's so funny, T. Because I released a video this morning. It was like POV crypto influencers, and Brent was like, "Oh, you paid me $100K to spend the day with me
I
or
didn't
whatever."
watch that video. I thought when I filmed.
Yeah, you filmed it.
Where's my commission?
You make any money on it?
You made
It's
3
free
videos.
content. So when it comes to a man who is chasing a purpose, why do girls not go for him and for toxic guys? Because
Well, you're just looking at the wrong girls.
Yeah, you're looking at the wrong girls, and because she's emotionally immature and doesn't have any family values, things of that nature. That's why she goes for toxic girls. Guys. Yeah. Dudes.
Girls, guys,
Dudes, whatever. I think I agree with the girl. When you are married, I don't think you should be hanging out. For sure. You are the girl, I guess.
I'm the girl.
Ask your girlfriend why she chose to be your girlfriend if it's okay with her. She just chose me because I'm like
He just like fell in my lap.
I'm like the 7th best option, and the other ones just didn't work out.
Why did I choose you? Put my face in here so I'm not just I don't know, we just like everything felt easy and we aligned on a lot of things like our values, and we were able to have those conversations, and everything just felt like natural with him and like a lot of other things. But you work hard and you have goals, and that's important to me.
Nice.
Okay.
I think when you get married, it should be hanging out with your buddies.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Catherine? Welcome back.
Like in. I always think of it as like your dad doesn't go hang out with other girls when he's like, you know what I mean? Like your dad's not like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with like my friends, and it's like a big group of girls, and vice versa. Like you've never seen your mom go hang out with her guy best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But also, okay, man. I know you. Are you okay, man? If you don't mind me asking, are you a girl or a guy? I know you said your husband, but I don't know if you're in a straight relationship or not. Also, when it comes to girls emotionally, if they depend on you too much, do you dump them or keep them? Well, it depends what you mean by depending on you.
Yeah.
Like if she has zero life of her own. She has no friends, no family, nothing going for her, and she just wants to be around you. You could be her coping mechanism. But there are very healthy ways in a relationship where somebody depends on you.
Like when I have a bad day, like I want to go to you.
Mm-hmm.
Some would see that as depending on you, but like you're not my sole source of happiness, and you bring me lots of happiness, but like you're not the only thing that keeps me going. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were my only source of happiness, that I feel like is what defines dependable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not really any foundation. What do you do if you're mad at someone so much, but you feel bad for blocking them? Well, if you're mad at someone and you're friends with them and you decided to block them and you feel bad about blocking them, you probably shouldn't have blocked them. But I don't know the in-depths of the situation.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, man said I'm a guy. Okay, you're a guy and you have a husband. So your claim makes sense, right? So the basis of this that we've been interacting with it has been backwards. So if you're in a gay relationship and you're saying, oh, it's okay to hang out with people of the opposite sex, for you, of course it is. Because you're not straight, right? So the woman has no worry of you trying to interact with her in an intimate way or view her a different way. Your Adam's apple is very prominent. Any tips on getting mine like yours? It got like this when I was in like 5th grade. I didn't do anything. It just genetics, I guess. What advice so I don't keep looking at my ex's story and location? Block her on everything?
Yeah, unfollow
or block
her.
him on everything?
Unfollow, block.
All my best friends are straight guys and straight girls. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Women like that can also go for someone else because men have their own priorities. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. If you think you have to be with someone to make you happy, you're heading for a sad life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do think, for the most fulfilling life possible, thinking you need to be with someone long term, I think is actually a requirement. But if you, again, like my girlfriend was saying before, if you have to be with someone now to make you happy and you can't find any sort of happiness or fulfillment in your own life, yes, it's a problem. What do you think about a girl that thinks past doesn't matter? She's somebody who's exceptionally disconnected from herself and her values and actually doesn't even have any. She thinks that her past doesn't matter. Oh, I could sleep with 200 dudes. I have no baggage from that. Oh, let's get in a relationship and get married. Divorce is coming very soon for you. You guys could actually, this is not, look, some of you guys may think I'm just making these claims. You can look at any research study, and this is for men and women both. Everyone in the online community used to say, like, oh, it's just women that sleep around more. It is more prominent for when a woman sleeps around more, that it's a higher chance that they get divorced in relationship to men, but it both for men and women. The more people you sleep with before you get married, your chances of getting divorced go up. They skyrocket. Am I in manosphere? No, you're not, wannabe. We are not the manosphere. I hate the manosphere.
What's that?
It's essentially like a term for like the online men's community where they basically talk crap about girls and give horrible relationship advice, but they say, it's basically like the guys that say, just get rich, get jacked, make a lot of money, and just like, have like 13 girlfriends, and that's what they do.
I feel like there's a group of women that like would do that too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, fuck men, men are horrible,
Yeah.
all men suck.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also no.
What's your thoughts on being valuable in the workplace with AI infiltrating? Well, when you say in the workplace,
learn
I don't know.
skills that set you apart.
Yeah.
Like, pick a skill and learn it and be really good at it that AI can't replace, that you can bring to a company, and that's what I want to hire.
There you go. A lot of girls with attitude want you to chase them, and then when they do, they ghost you because they're avoiding people. And you're playing into their narrative, and you're making yourself the victim.
Find different women. There's plenty out there that don't like the game.
Do you agree that you cannot... I can't pin that because of the language in there. Do you agree that you cannot deeply bond with your husband if you have had many blank partners? I don't think it's that you can't bond. It's not that it's impossible. But yes, if a girl slept with 200 guys, like, that act has no value to her, right? And so if that has no value, you're not gonna. In a lot of other ways, she's probably not gonna emotionally connect to you. So it's not that you can't bond, but it makes it definitely a lot more difficult. I was raised by the older generation. I believe you should be married. Yeah, but what skills would you say? Well, it depends. Yeah, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, it depends what field you're going into.
Do you think my partner and I can be good parents?
Sure, anybody can be.
I don't know how you want to raise your kids. Depends. All right, how long have we been on here? An hour? I think we might end it here. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, of course. That lightning bolt is trademark. You own money, buddy. Pay up. Yeah, the trademark's owned by me, buddy. Appreciate you guys. Everyone's saying don't go. Do you believe it's a main manipulative tactic women use to control you, the push and pull factor? 100%. Men do it all the time too. Ask your girlfriend if she would start dating you without you being a millionaire. Well, I'm not anywhere near a millionaire yet, so she would date me without being that. I appreciate Brad. He's my hero. Appreciate you. All right, awesome. Appreciate everyone who's on here, who's been on here for a while. We dive into self-growth, fancy your relationships, growing spiritually 7 days a week. Feel free to shoot me a follow if you haven't already. We'll see you back on the live tomorrow. And any questions you guys have, stuff you're struggling with, shoot me a DM. I get back to you as soon as possible. Appreciate you guys. See you very soon. And YouTube. See you guys soon too.
1 cent.
Yes. Yes.